Thank you so much for tuning in today. I have, I think, quite the treat for you. I'm actually going to be doing a Q&A video answering some questions that people submitted for me on Instagram, on a few Facebook pages and groups that I'm in. So I just really appreciate the support, especially for my mom groups. I had so many moms that submitted such great questions. So thank you, thank you, thank you so much. And if you haven't already, go ahead and hit the like and subscribe button. And I wasn't going to do this video until I hit 200 subscribers. And I'm not there yet. I'm only at like 181 probably as of this video, but I feel like I'll hit 200 soon. So I just want to thank everyone. I just started this whole YouTube journey like consistently after BSing for so long. Just 2 weeks ago. So to even have like all the engagement that I have like in the comments, to have people like subscribing and liking this and sharing my content, it's just overwhelmingly like, it's just a blessing. And if there's anyone out there who's watching this and there's something that you haven't started and you've been just waiting on the right moment, there is no right moment. There isn't. You just have to get started. And, I know that to be true. And again, like this proves it again, once I just started and really got focused and started being consistent and carved out the space and the time for it, I knew that this was something that I wanted to do. It's kind of working. So thank you so much. Thank you for liking. Thank you for subscribing. And thank you for sharing. And also thank you to everyone who submitted all these questions. Now, about the questions. So I had so many, especially from my Instagram page. I think I had like over 73 questions. Some people were asking me multiple questions. Some people were, asking me like one or two, but and they ranged from questions directed just for me, and then some people just wanted advice, like we're asking for advice. So I really had to split it. I really had to filter, and for the sake of this video and for the sake of time, because I know that if I went through all of those questions, I can talk, so we would be here for a while. But for the sake of time, I kind of went through and picked out what I think are the best questions kind of out of the bunch, and then I split it. So today's video is going to be more Q&A about me, and then the next video that I do will be an advice, kind of like, some advice for the time, some advice for where we're at. I kind of tried to make it more tailored to where we're at and things that would help people out right now. So I'm going to go ahead and get started. I don't want to waste too much time, and I don't want to make this video too long because I haven't rehearsed this and I don't know how long it's going to take me to answer these questions. So I'm going to try to get through it. Let's get started. Also, look, I'm going to mix them up, which also is probably going to be a hot mess. Look, we're going to mix them up, put them on cards. It's the teacher, former teacher here. So yeah, mix them up and let's just do this. All right, question number 1. What do you do? I am a communications director for a nonprofit in Michigan. It's a fantastic organization, and I am blessed to have the job. Pretty much I work with getting, I get the media placements. Sometimes I have to set up interviews, all kinds of things. I don't want to disclose too much, but just know that I'm very happy. I definitely have found a position and a career and a path where I am combining all of my passions, from my love for media to my love for communications to my love for service. So it's all combined in my current role. Very blessed, very blessed. All right, next. Okay, you just had a baby. How do you drop the weight and get energy? Do you take supplements? I'm going to do another video probably this week about the supplements I take, because I do take supplements. And thank you so much. I did just have a baby. I have an 8-month-old, and I also have a 6-year-old, and I'm married, if you're new to the channel. But I still have a ways to go in terms of weight. Thank you so much. I did lose a lot of weight because I was really, really heavy with this last pregnancy. I got up to about 210 pounds, but I lost a lot of it pretty quickly, after I delivered my son. But again, there's still ways to go. And again, my body's not the same as it was. So just have to really work on toning up right now. But overall, I don't overeat. I am mindful about portion control. I don't eat a lot of sweets. I don't eat a lot of dessert. I am a mindful eater. So I don't really work out like a lot or ever. Like I haven't worked out in a long time, but I do know that I do have to work out now to tone up because I need to tone up just from having the baby and the pregnancy. But what I do, what I am conscious about is I'm a very mindful eater. I do eat fruits and vegetables, but I also eat McDonald's. So I'm into balance and I'm into portion control. But I'm also going to eat my ribs. Like I don't deprive myself. I know in an earlier video I made, if you look back at some of my earlier ones, I talk about my love for food. So I believe in the balance, but I also believe in the portion control. For example, like let's say I have like McDonald's. Like sometimes, when we're not quarantined, I might have like a quarter pounder with cheese. That's like my guilty pleasure. I might have it like once every 2 weeks, right? Maybe once a month. I lie, it's once every 2 weeks, okay? So I'll have it like once every 2 weeks, right? So that day that I have that quarter pounder, and I don't get fries with it either. I just really get the quarter pounder. I might eat like 3 fries. But anyways, that day that I get that, I don't eat anything else, that's, out of order. I'm like real good, so, and I'm drinking like lots of water. So I'm just very mindful even when I treat myself. So I think that has helped me stay in kind of a healthy weight zone. But I don't work out and I need to do better. Thanks. How do you set goals and not give up? Oh, thanks. I know who wrote that, so that's why I said aw too. So I am huge on setting goals. I've always been like this, even when I was like a kid and before I even knew what goal setting was and understood really what I was doing. I've always been very intentional with my thought, and I've always said, okay, I want to do this, and I would always figure out a way, write it down. Even as a kid, I would write down like a plan of how I wanted to get something, whether it was whatever it was. I was very strategic in thinking of how I could accomplish certain tasks. So I will say that writing, again, even still to this day, is one way that I set goals. I also vision board, and I don't just vision board like wait till the new year. Like I have an active vision board. I have vision boards in picture frames. I usually do them in frames now. And I'm very intentional. I'm printing out the pictures. I'm really like crafting my vision. And I really take my, and I don't just do it at the beginning of the year. So I'll do vision boards throughout the year. Once I accomplish goals, because I'm always like actively creating it, actively adding and taking away from it. Once I accomplish goals, I add new goals to it. So it's always ever changing. Vision boards definitely help me. Again, I write a lot. I come up with plans for things. I always start with the foundation and I figure out how can I build and what can I build from that foundation when I'm even deciding on what my next move is, whether that's has to do with career, business, education, family plan, finances. I'm always saying, okay, well, what do we have to work with and what can I build from here? When I was changing careers, I wrote a lot about I wrote down a lot of my goals and I was writing out a lot. Like I have journals filled with like brainstorming and like what's next and what can I do, and just like that's just how I operate. And so, when I left teaching, that's kind of how I was able to dream out of that situation all of these opportunities, that came after that. I said, okay, I have this foundation. I know I'm a teacher, but what skills have I obtained while I've been teaching in that classroom? And from those skills, what can I build from that? And from that, all of this, from my, working in the news business to writing to creating my internet wellness company, all of those things, came from me first considering what do I have to work with. So I'm big on goals, big on setting goals, and whatever. If you're a visual person, vision boards are great. If you like to write it down, maybe you just need to have like pictures in your phone, whatever works for you. But definitely I think that goal setting is super important, and I think this is a great time. A lot of parents right now are home with their kids. It's a great time to really teach your kids how to set goals, no matter the age. I have a 6-year-old. I'm already teaching her like how to set goals, savings goals, academic goals, goals in terms of like where she wants to go, what she wants to do. They are never too young to start really dreaming beyond their current circumstances, and that's what it's all about. So that's how I set goals. And how do I not give up? I really believe in myself. You know, I really do believe in myself. I really do practice self love. I really am um, a best friend to myself. I'm good to myself. So I believe that if I want to do something, then why can't it not happen? You know, I really believe that it can happen. Like if I decide I want to do something, I believe it can happen. Just like you would believe in like your best friend or however, like I pump my husband up, like that's how I pump myself up too. And so, and then I'm like, okay, so we're not going to fail. You know, I get in touch with my higher self. You know, we all have that higher self that knows that we are meant and destined for greatness. We just sometimes let that voice down and we don't listen. But it's loud and clear for all of us. And so I just am really listen to that voice. I really believe in myself. I also, it's like, why not? Like, you only live once. Why not try out things that you want to try? Why not do things that you want to do? You know, I mean, the only person you're hurting when you don't try out things or you don't pursue certain goals is yourself. You know, because the reality is the people who are dreamers get it. The people who are out here doing the work, we get it. Like, we see it. Like, you know, I mean, you know, and then there's people that'll never get it, and it just is what it is. But I don't give up because I believe in myself, and I feel that I am destined for greatness and great things, and because of that mindset, things have worked out for me. So I trust myself too. I have a lot of trust and faith in myself and in, you know, the universe and all those kinds of things. So, yay. Okay, next question. See, I can talk. Where do you shop clothes, shoes, makeup? That is so funny because I don't really have a set store. Now that I literally just started really caring again about clothes. I used to be really into clothes when I was younger, like in high school and stuff like that. And then I got away from it because I was like a struggling teacher. And so I was like, hey, you know, like whatever works, you know, when you're a teacher. I just wasn't really into, I always looked nice and put together, but I never had like a set store. You know, it was literally like whatever's cute, you know, whatever's cute. Nowadays though, I will say because I'm just so busy, and I've gotten to that point in my life where I just don't like to go to malls really, that my main stores are Amazon. I do a lot of shopping on Marshalls. I'm definitely a Marshalls and Maxxinista, TJ Maxx girl. And when I want to like splurge, of course, like I always like my like Neiman Marcus, like, you know, or that's like when, you know, like right now, like, because we've all been home. You know, some of us are really doing well with savings. So, you know, I like Neiman's, you know, nice things. I like nice things too, but not all the time. I definitely don't splurge. I'm basically overall definitely a bargain shopper, but I do have things that I like. And I'd like to treat myself from time to time. Next question. Do you think the earth is flat? No, I do not. I'm going to move on from this. I just thought that was funny someone would ask me that. Anyways, where are you from? Love your accent. I thought this was so funny because I'm not sure where this person is from, but a lot of people think people from Michigan, like when I've traveled, etc., they think, or people from, I guess, this area, Michigan, think that we have accents. I'm from, by the way, like Detroit, Michigan. I mean, I live right now in the suburbs of Detroit, but I'm from Detroit, Michigan. So yeah, my accent, I don't have an accent. It's a black scent. It's a black scent. That's what I have. And it is a blend of Detroit and Southfield tones mushed together with a little private school education underneath in there somewhere and public school education mixed in. So it's definitely a black scent. But thank you. Thank you for loving the black scent. What do you listen to music-wise? I love some rap, but I'm like an old school rap. Like the new rap, like I try to get it with it. I can't, but I do like Drake, and I like some of the new artists like Moneybagg. What's his name? Moneybagg Yayo. Is that his name? I like him. I like his songs. But in terms of real artists that I really rock with, it's still those like the people that I've rocked with since I was like in high school and middle school, you know. Like Jay-Z, I'm still a Jay-Z fan, but I don't really listen to the new stuff. I'm like listening to the old stuff still, you know. I love like any like rap music from like the 2000s. Probably because it was like a fantastic time in my life. But in terms of new rap, I really don't listen to a lot. Like, there's no artist right now I want to like buy their album, other than I love a Drake album. I can always listen to a Drake. I like, yeah, that's like really, I don't know. If Jay-Z came out, of course I'd listen to him. I'm just trying to really think. So outside of that, I love old school R&B. I'm like an Anita Baker girl, Isley Brothers, like real old school. I like, I like my music. But then again, I literally listen to all genres, basically, a little bit here and there. I can appreciate it all. I love Earth, Wind, and Fire. I think they're they're probably one of my most favorite groups of all times. But yeah, I listen to a little bit of everything. I definitely have favorites. Beyonce. I don't even know how I didn't lead with that. I love Beyonce. I live in a Beyonce world too, so I just love her. My dog's name is Sasha Fierce, fun fact. Sasha Fierce. Anyways, so yeah, I listen to all music. I don't know how to answer that. I listen to everything so much that that's a very loaded question for me. But my favorites like Jay-Z, Beyonce, lots of old school people. I'm very influenced by old school music. Love a little ratchet though too. Actually, a lot of ratchet music too. But again, like I'm probably not going to buy a ratchet album. So album wise, like in terms of the greats, it's pretty much older artists. I like 50 Cent too though. But like the old 50 Cent songs, like G Unit. I like G Unit. T-Pain, Joe, the singer Joe. I could go on and on. I love music. I really do. Moving on, where are you from? I already said that, but I'm basically from Detroit and Southfield, Michigan. That's where I'm from. Well, I guess that's where I grew up. Right now, I live in Farmington Hills, Michigan. So that is cool, and I like it. Why did you leave teaching? So I left teaching because, first of all, I could not see myself just being a teacher. And it's not even, that's one. I'm going to give you all a few reasons, but one reason is that I did not see myself just being a teacher. But even if I wasn't a teacher, I never saw myself just doing one thing. Like, even as a kid, when I used to think about that, like, oh, wow, you're supposed to just like get a job and stay there for like 30 years. Like I would hear like people like, oh, like, like my grandma like was a teacher for like 30 something years. And that would like kind of give me a little anxiety. Even as a kid, it was just like, so you just like are born and then you go to school and then you just are supposed to know what you want to be when you're like 16 basically, and that's it. Like that never made sense to me logically. And especially because I realized at a young age, like you really don't know a lot. Like I was very conscious of the fact that I did not know a lot. And I think it has a lot to do with the fact that I had a brother that was 11 years older than me. And for a long time, I thought like he knew what he was doing. And then I saw him like, make some mistakes. And I was like, oh, so people don't really get it together until they're a little older. So I think seeing that, I was like, okay, got it. You know what I mean? So I just was very conscious that I didn't have it all together. So anyways, one big reason I left teaching, I never saw myself being in the classroom. I'm going to say from day one for 30 something years. I did not see that for myself. I was always like, okay, I'm going to do this because my parents were really big on going into something specialized. So I said, I'm going to do this, but I always knew I had a lot of other skill sets. I always knew that I was really good with like technology to a point. Like on the social side, I was really good with like making web pages, and I love social media. I knew how to code a little bit, and that was all thanks to just always taking advantage of like summer programs and things in high school. I was very active in DAPSAP, which is a Detroit area pre-college engineering program. Would go to like Saturday classes, learning how to code and things like that. So, and this is when the internet was kind of like just getting started. So it was like, I was kind of always kind of ahead of the curve. And even though I didn't become an engineer, obviously, I had that skill set, and I enjoyed it. So I, on my own, kind of, taught myself different things around it, and also taught myself how to find jobs within that field, which I did. So I always knew, that I could do other things. And when teaching started getting real crazy, and by crazy, I mean when the state kind of was going through a lot, under, I'm just going through a lot of changes, and standardized testing really took over. And when I'm talking standardized testing, basically we were like teaching to a test 3 times a year to keep funding, and there was no room really for extra creativity or anything like that. I knew that this was not something that I wanted to continue doing. And I was teaching like kindergarten. So here I am like teaching not only kindergarten, where you're supposed to like literally teach them how to enjoy learning at that point. I'm sitting here stressing them out about a test. Just like, I just couldn't do that. So considering that things had changed, and that teaching also wasn't what I thought it would be, especially with all those changes, that's a big reason why I left. And I felt that I would be successful at other things. I had the confidence to know that I would be successful at other things. I didn't know right then exactly what it would be, but I kind of knew I had an interest in pursuing communications and news in that area. So it worked out. 5 years later, less than 5 years really, and it's worked out very well. Last question for this segment. That went by faster than I thought, and I hope it's not a jumbled mess. If it is, let me know if you have some more questions for me in the comments. But what made you start a YouTube? What will you continue to talk about? Fitting last question. So I started a YouTube because I wanted basically a place where I could share out information. I wanted a safe space for me to talk and create, and it's just been something I've always wanted to do. I enjoy watching other people on YouTube. I enjoy supporting other channels. If you have a channel you want me to support, always let me know. But yeah, it's just something that I wanted to do. I have a lot to say. I have a lot of things that I want to share with you all. I'm just getting started, but I feel like I have valuable information to share. And also, I know how to have a little fun. So I hope that if you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel and hit that like and subscribe button. But, I'm just here to have fun. We're quarantined. Right now it's 2020. I also started a channel because I want something for my great grandkids down the road. I want them to know who, great grandma Ebony was. And, right now we have a divine opportunity with YouTube and technology to really document everything, anything. I mean, the sky is the limit. I mean, this is the stuff that people back in the day would dream for, right? This is the stuff of dreams. So, why not, put my little mark in history? Why not leave something behind? And right now, with us going through so much, I finally do have the time, being quarantined. One bright side, of many. Of course, I'm loving the family time. I have some videos, if you check out my page, on just ways for us to make the most of family time right now. But, overall, one good thing about this time is that, I'm not going to happy hour. I'm not going to these meetings. I'm not overly scheduled right now. So I've been able to carve in the time to do this. And I just want to say thank you so much for all of the people who are supporting and subscribing to my channel. It really is keeping me going and keeping me motivated. All the love and support. But yeah, that's why I started it. I have the time, and I'm going to be consistent, and hopefully you guys will grow with me, right? And what will you continue to talk about? So my page is focused on intelligent conversation, and also for good vibes. So we're going to be talking about current events, what's going on, tips for living our best lives on this channel, but also having a little fun. So it'll be reflective of my personality. That's what I can say. All right, well, thank you so much for tuning in. I hope you guys liked that. Let me know what you thought in the comments, and I will see you soon. Bye.